when you're creating your IPs, you're setting your network range, you try as much as possible not to have, the same network address in your on-prem environment, because if you're trying to set up like a VPN or a connection from the cloud to the on-prem network and you have this overlapping network, it can actually cause a problem. So one of the example I always tell people is, if you're looking at the overlapping network address, is more like you staying in your house, because if you look at the IP address, before I explain what I want to explain, if you look at the IP address, once you have devices on the same network, they are being assigned an IP. So just think, as the IP is what we use to identify that resource on the network. So think of it this way: if you're in your house, right, and you have your family members in your house, the way you identify each of your family members will probably be by their name. So you'll probably say, oh, you call this person, I'm like, hey, Frank, and Frank would respond to me. And then I'm saying Paul Okbayemi, and then you're responding to me. Now think about having a family, and when you have that family, you have people bearing the same name in the family. There's going to be a lot of confusion, because if we have three Pauls, three Franks, and then three Steven in our family, eventually I'll be like, Paul, and who is the Paul you're talking to? Like, we're all Pauls. So the idea with overlapping network is more like you're having the same IP here and the same IP, and then you're trying to say, oh, this is the device I want, and both of them, they're probably having like the same IPs. So today, what I just actually wanted to show is nothing that serious, but before I show you what I just want to show you about the upgrade is, when we're also talking of network, there is something that is like very, very important that I always tell people to like pay attention to in terms of network. When you start learning about networking, we always have what we call the classes of network, right? Basically, these classes is just the way the IPs are arranged. And when we are looking at these classes, right, it is also the default class is actually telling us where is our network and which side is for our host. So if we're looking at that, we probably have the class A, class B, class C, D, and E, but you probably not hear people talking about that a lot. Most people, they stay within the A to C. So, but if we're looking at these IPs for different classes, we can as well, change the class. That's why we have classless interdomain routing. But then when you look at these IPs, there are some IPs that we use within our internal network, right? If you probably go to your computer now and then you open your command prompt and type ipconfig, it's going to show you an IP for your computer. That IP you're seeing, I can probably have that same IP on my own computer. And the reason I'm having that is because those are like the private IPs. So we don't use that IPs on the internet. And then we also have what we call the public IPs. Those public IPs, they are basically what we use in the internet. If we want to access resources, files, and all of that in the internet, we use the public IPs. So when I'm creating like a virtual network on Azure, basically what I am actually doing is I am creating a network with private IPs, not the public IPs. And I always tell people, when you're starting to learn about network, you don't really need to start thinking about which is, how do I know the public or private IPs. So what I always tell people to do is they should focus their attention more on knowing the private IPs range. So for me, I know that if I look at the class A IPs, the 10.0.0.0 to the end, which is like 10.225.225 to the end, they're probably going to be my private IPs. And if I'm also looking at the private IPs for the Class C, I know that the 172.16 to 172.31, right? Those are the private IPs for the Class B. And when I'm also looking at the Class C, I know 192.168, which is like, I think, the very popular one that we probably just always see. Like me, I know most people in their house, that's what you would see. So those are like the private IPs. So I would probably pay more attention focusing on the private IPs. And if I see something different, I probably know anything within the that those ranges that are outside it is the public IP. So recently Microsoft has actually sent emails that if you actually set up a public IP on your cloud and you use the basic SKU, you need to upgrade it. The reason is by 30th of September 2025, the public SKU would be retiring. So you need to take action by going into your portal, checking the pricing for the standard, and then you need to upgrade it. Sorry, checking the pricing for the standard, then you need to go to the basic and then upgrade it. So what you're seeing right here on my screen is the, let me just see if I can give this one more. So what you're seeing right now on my screen is just the virtual network, which has nothing to do with what I want to do, but this is where you can set up your private network when you create. So, but what I want to do is going to public IPs. So I have some public IPs here. So what I want to do, I can just hit create. So once I hit create, basically I can choose the type of configuration I need for these IPs. So if we look at this right now, when you're creating a resource on Azure, you need to understand the resource group you're putting them in just to arrange your stuff, the subscription you're going to be using, and then the region. So these are like the first thing we are seeing here. So the next thing we are going to be seeing is the name. We want to name public, the public IP address. So the name I'm going to use, I'll just use AI, and let me just use this. So I want to get an IP, but now what I want to do is we have different version of IPs. We have the IPv4 and the IPv6. I'll be sticking with the IPv4. So next I would do is to take the basic. So if you look at the basic, I already get the notification that on the 30th of September 2005, Azure Basic Public IP will be retired. So, but I can as well still create it now because this date is still over a year ahead. We still have over 1 year. So now I can see here that I have the ability to select dynamic or static. So what you would also understand in terms of this is when we are creating this particular IP, we need to know that when we take dynamic and we want to do the upgrade, we would need to change it to static for us to perform the upgrade. So if probably you already created the public IP previously and you were using the dynamic or you used the dynamic, you would need to change it to the static so you can actually make this change. So I would just, DNS label, I can just label this as So I'll just leave this, and for the domain label, I'll just leave this and go next, and I'll leave this by as default. And what I would do next is I would create this. So now I would go to the resource. So if you look at this right here, you would see that I already am already getting the upgrade notification here. And this is basically the public IP I just created, and it's going to be showing me the subscription and everything. And the SKU, I can see it right here showing basic. So once you create this, there are other stuffs you can always do to your public IP. You can see that if probably I had this on dynamic previously, changing it to static is actually not going to be like a big deal. You just need to come to the configuration and select static and then save it. So if I select dynamic and save this will be dynamic. But for me to make this upgrade, I need to be using the static. So I would leave this on static and then I would come here. So once I come here, you can see just a simple click. If I click on this, and the next thing I need to do is acknowledge after reading. So you can see one of the things. Let's just click on learn more and see what we have here. So basically, you can see they're just telling you the features and everything that you get with the comparison between the standard and the basic. So the reason is so you can actually understand what you're getting. And once you go through this, you can then come here and hit yes. So once we hit yes, you can see this has been upgraded to public IP address. And if you look at this now, you would see that this is now on standard SKU. So you can always just come here and verify, but I would still refresh. And if I refresh, I am still there. So basically, this is just as simple as it is. You don't really need much to do, just a few clicks. And with those few clicks, you would get upgraded to the standard SKU and prevent being caught up with the expiry or the date where it's going to retire. So for today, I think this is just basically what I want to show you. And yes, I can now, pass over to hand this over to Frank.
Very good, Salman. And
Yeah,
nice
Yeah, I think
presentation
that,
there and demonstration.
yeah,
yeah, that's quite straightforward. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah,
very straightforward.
yeah,
And
yeah.
most
Very good.
organizations they probably must have been getting the notifications also. So all you just need to do, go in there. You already have like a quick guide. One, two, you're done. The only thing you might need to change is confirm the dynamic or static. So, but now you can see that it's just static because the SKU for standard has just static assignment.
Very good. Very good.
yeah. I
Um,
just, I just hope some organization will start critical. Most organizations they like to wait till dying minute and they start rushing and then they start things start getting breaking and yeah, yeah. Because September is just like 5 months now. The next five
No,
months.
not this September actually. It's next year September though.
Oh, next year. Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. But it's still far, but to be frank, it's not far.
Yeah.
And for me, most times when I have stuffs like this to do, I know probably Microsoft will still send more notifications, but
Mm,
I just put them in my calendar, set reminders, and probably add other people, right? Because the idea is you never can tell if maybe the reminder you're setting you might be available that day, but if someone else is available. So I'll set like 1 month reminder if at all I'm not implementing it. But to be frank, I prefer actually just implementing this on the go. So
yeah.
very good. So,
yeah.
Stephen, did you want to do something first?
No, not today. Yeah.
Not today. Okay,
Yeah.
so listen, I just going to put a thing up on the screen there as well that Partop is running a sessionize on 1 second now. It's running in May. 1 second now. I'll just save this one. Hide that. So you can see on the end of the screen there, sessionize.com/global AI summer bootcamp 2024. So if anybody wants to do a talk or demonstration or anything on that, see the link there. It's running on the 4th of May. Partop is the host there, and we'll be running it out through StreamYard again. And as you can see,
nothing at serious, but before I show you what I just want to show you about the
second there.
is
Getting a bit of feedback there. As you can see, anytime we're running the show as well, we broadcast out through 3 LinkedIn channels, 3 YouTube channels, 2 Twitter accounts, and today we've added Solomon's Facebook account. So we have a big range of platforms that we're broadcasting out to, and we're always looking for speakers. So reach out to any of us if you want to do a talk or get involved in the Azure and AI show. We also run a monthly Journey to the Cloud, it's called. It's another one. It runs on the first Thursday of every month. And we have Dan Ray and Teresa Cyrus on that one. Stephen, myself, Solomon, and Matt Brown, we're all involved in that. So yeah, we've got a lot going on. So I'm just going to share my screen there. 1 second now. Hide that one, and we leave that sessionize one there for the moment. So you can tell me there if you can see my screen. And add. You can see my screen there, Solomon, yeah?
Yep. Yeah.
So you just go to the Copilot. So Copilot Pro, if we're looking at the one here, is like you can get Copilot, anybody can use it in Edge. You'll see it up on the right hand corner there, the symbol for Copilot. But the one I'm using here today, now I'm going to show you and maybe do 1 or 2 demos there on Copilot Pro. So it's an extra, like you need to have a Microsoft 365 account first, and then you can get an add-on of Microsoft Copilot Pro. So it's about $20, or if you're in the UK, it's I think it's about 19.
About 19. Yeah, 19 pounds.
Yeah, £19 sterling, and it's in euros. Then it's about €20. So if you didn't want to have subscribing for it for the whole 12 months, you can just sign up to it for 1 month and just play around with it. And so this is in my 365 account, and over on the left hand side here you can see it's got Word, Excel, PowerPoint, Outlook, OneDrive, Teams, and OneNote. In the middle part here is some of the presentations I kind of was playing around with just to see how Copilot worked. But just over on the left hand side here, look, we'll just go down through them as they appear. So on Word, so I'm just going to open up Word and I'll just open up a blank one. And maybe I'll just get some text that have some there. Okay. So now when you open up Word and you have Copilot, you'll see it up here on the right hand side, the Copilot. And you'll see it here on the screen then as well. So I'm just going to copy in some text just for the demonstration there. So I have the text put in here. It's only just something I kind of made up there. So if you're interested in learning more about the Azure and AI from experts, enthusiasts, and whatever, so I won't go through all that. So I'm going to hit on the Copilot up here on the top right-hand side. So now it appears on the right-hand side. So it gives us a couple of things. The first one there is because we have a document here already, it can summarize this document. You can ask questions about this document. And down here then on the right at the bottom, you can ask anything about the document or wherever. So we'll just go up to summarize the document and we'll see, let's hide that, summarize the document. So you can see on the right hand side there, Copilot is working away in the background. Sometimes it might take, depending on the speed of your broadband or the size of the document, that how long it'll take. So yeah, so it's after summarizing it. So I'm just going to copy it and bring it over into the body of our document. So let's see. So this is what Copilot is after. So it says here's a summary of your document, right? So it's after reading through the thing above, and it's after coming out with a summary. So Azure and AI Show. So the Azure and AI Show is a weekly online hosted by Frank Falvin. He invites guests to talk on the Azure about Azure and AI topics. Okay, so it's kind of drilled down and it's kind of picked out the time of the platform, time and platforms. So it's every Saturday, 7 p.m. GMT on LinkedIn Live, YouTube, and Twitter. So it's quite cool, like the summary that it brings up. So I can do other stuff as well. I can just click on this one. I highlighted the stuff there on the top, and I'm going to click on Copilot again. And now it generates this thing here. It can rewrite it, it can visualize it as a table. So we're just going to hit on the rewrite, and we'll see what Copilot gives us. So normally it will rewrite what's there, and it will give you an option to pick out of 3. So as you can see there now, look, it's after rewriting it up in the top. I have, are you interested in learning? It's after going, sorry now. Just going to go back. We're after losing it there now, so I'll just hit on the Copilot again. Highlight our document, click on the Copilot, rewrite. So yeah, we're after getting it back here. So the one I started off with, are you interested in learning more about it? So down here, Copilot gives us, do you want to learn more about Azure and AI? So I won't read down through all of it, but you can see it rewrote, and everything is kind of similar. It's got Saturday at 7 p.m. GMT and live, LinkedIn Live. So we go for the next one there. So hit the arrow and it goes into the second. So this is 2 of 2. So it's given us now, like instead of do you want to learn more, it's if you want to learn more about the Azure and listen to experts and whatever. So it's so you can hit either if you think this one or the other one is better than the original, you can just hit on the replace button down here in the bottom, and we'll just go ahead and see what it does. So yeah, so just replace our original. There's lots of other stuff that you can do inside in Word as well. I just see, you can see up here on the top right, designer is next to it as well. So we'll just click on our Copilot here and we'll just ask it to do something else. So add a picture. So sometimes you just have to think of prompts that you want to put into it. I'll show you a bit more about the prompts now in the middle. So we'll see if we can actually use Designer to look at the document and pick out a picture to add to. Okay, so it's telling us, I'm sorry, but I am an AI language model and do not have the capability to add pictures. Okay, so that's why you've got Designer up here next to Copilot, which is another AI tool. So we can click on Designer and we can look at some of the examples down here, and we can pick one of these to change the format. And so if we just highlight everything, click on this one over, so it's going to change the kind of style of writing here on this one. If we wanted to go the other one. So yeah, that's kind of Designer working alongside of Copilot in Word. So I'll just move on to the next one there. So I'll just go back to the M365 here. And we'll pick XL. So I'm just going to go with a blank one just to start off to see what we'll actually get. So here we're inside in Excel, and over on the right hand side we can see our Copilot there again. So I'm just going to click on the Copilot. It's going to open up there in that column on the right hand side, and we'll just see what it actually gives us now, right? So if you see it's all grayed out like this, right? It's because we have no data inside in the middle of the screen. So down here, Copilot gives us things. Start with an Excel table. You need an Excel table in the sheet to continue. If you want to see an example, I have one ready for you. So this green box here says try the example. So I'm going to hit on that and we'll see what Copilot gives us for an example. Okay, so it gives us a nice data set there to we can work with. So you can see now all these things are after on the right hand side are after becoming active. So you got create, add formulas, columns, highlight stuff, sort and filter, understand. So we'll just go and click on this, highlight the whole table. And what we want to do is look, so we've got revenue and budget. We'll just ask Copilot to give us a new column, right? So So it's the prompts is everything, you know, that you need to know about here. Can you a, a column with profit? And just hit the enter and we'll see what it will come up with. I think the spelling might be a little wrong there in the thing, but yeah, Copilot is after discovering that I put a no and then it put a U in itself. So yeah, so it comes up with the formula. So it knows profit, right? Your profit is equal to revenue minus your budget. So it's giving us the option here to insert the column, right? So I hovered over that, and if you can see there, look, it's giving us the profit. So if I just hit on enter, it gives us the profit. So that's the formula up here. So if you didn't know what the formula was, you just ask it down here, and it would actually put it in your thing. Your
Sorry to cut it short, Frank. Yeah,
yeah.
so can we ask Copilot probably like to give us like the currency symbol we need? I can see we probably have, I want like a pound symbol or yeah,
All right. Okay, because
yeah.
okay, I'm outnumbered here today because the two of you are in the UK and I'm in Ireland.
Hmm.
So we use it actually put up because I'm in Ireland and it just
Yeah,
detects
yeah.
that I use the euro. But we could um so what would you suggest would be the monetary thing?
Maybe like pounds, yeah, pound symbol. Let's see.
Can we change euro to pounds? Okay, so we'll try that. We pounds pounds as our currency. We'll see what happens. It normally takes 30 to 60 seconds before it can kind of send it out and bring it back. So yes, you can change the currency formula in the profit column.
I think it's because you're selecting the profits column, maybe.
Do you think if I just unselect that and try it again? Okay, so
Yeah, maybe try that again.
okay, so
So
that's
what what I can say is, since the currency is in, can we select the rows where we have, or the columns where we have the currencies?
Hmm.
this one here.
Yeah. So what I would probably say, probably we start with the budget and the revenue, since that is what we use in getting the profit. So we can select the row, the column for the budget, the column for the revenue. Yeah.
Okay,
Yes. So we can start with that and see what it looks like.
and we'll see will it change it then from the same prompt, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, it's no harm to be messing around with it and see what it can do and what it can't do, you know? That's what I
Hmm.
find. Okay, so it's making changes. So it actually changed it to dollars, would you believe it? Can you see that?
Yeah, I can see that one was changed to is it dollar sign? Yeah.
Yeah, so it changed our profit to dollars rather than pounds. So we will undo. So it just brought it back to euro again. So that's one or two of the things anyway can actually do. So if I just go back up to something, right, we could just click out of it here and go back up to the top again. So if you're not clicked into your table, your data set there, these won't appear to work. So you need to click into the box and wherever. So what I'm going to do is um, get it to highlight something. So can you highlight um,
I like. I just have like a suggestion. If probably if you highlight it, what if you said, what if you say, can you change the highlighted cell currency symbol from pound sterling to pounds, and let's see if maybe probably that will work. So when
highlight?
you highlight the budget and the revenue, so if you can just say, can you change the highlighted uh, cell symbol from pound sterling and from wherever it
Euro.
is,
From
yeah,
euros to
right,
from
from euro
euro
to
symbol to
pounds.
Okay.
Yeah,
pound. I think it can do it. It's just probably the right button.
yeah. I think you just need the right
Can you
frame.
highlight the rows? Is it?
Yeah,
So
yeah,
is it the rows? Or be the column? I think the column for budget and can you? So probably what I think he means is you highlight the budget
yeah. You highlight, yeah.
column, you highlight the revenue, and then you tell Copilot, please, can you? Oh, I'm using please. I'm very respectful.
Yeah,
Can you?
Can you highlight the row?
Can you change the currency for the highlighted rows? That's the rows you already highlighted from euro symbols to pounds symbol. So,
yeah.
so
Maybe
I
that
think
will
you
work.
need to highlight it after typing the prompt.
From euro to pounds.
Yeah, to pounds. So I think
No.
the correction there is can
Can you
you
change?
change the highlighted? So that
Yeah,
means we need to highlight that. Yeah, can you change the
highlighted
highlighted
row.
columns?
Not
Highlighted
rows,
column.
columns.
Yes, yeah, it should be column. Okay.
So I think so.
So
You need to come back and highlight
then we
the
need to
budget.
come back and highlight both the budget and the revenue.
Yeah.
Yes, then we can hit it and then see.
Okay, so we'll hit this thing and
Yeah.
see what Copilot can actually do.
Yes.
Hopefully.
So I think the thing is kind of to figure out what the actual prompts, so it's changing it back to dollars again. It's so there's something actually wrong there. So it's
Yeah, I think it's not
these
really.
little things here with the thumbs up and thumbs down, right? This will kind of tell Microsoft some feedback. So
Mm-hmm.
we're just going to tell it we asked.
So I think it's probably saying this is mistaking the pound symbols
Yeah,
for dollar because it's actually telling us it has changed it to pounds, but it is actually
yeah.
dollar.
Yeah,
That
So
is
it's
changed.
we asked for pounds and got dollars. Yeah, ARS, isn't it? DOLL. So share my prompts I generated. Yes, so that will gather that itself. May contact us so they can. So we submit. So it helps to give them feedback, so somebody can look into it to see what's actually wrong.
Yes.
yeah.
Um, So what else is understand? So like if we highlight the whole data set, right? And we can click on, we'd say, because we don't have too much time now to be doing it, we can analyze it, right? So it can analyze our data and it could probably give us, one second now. So I just wanted to show down here in the corner as well, this square box here, right? If you hover over, it says you view prompts. So if we just click into that, it gives us more, view more prompts. So if you weren't sure what to kind of ask the data set, you can kind of go in here. I'm going to click on it here and it's going to bring us up another window here. So if you want to compare columns and spot trends in data, understand your data, so it gives you more stuff here. Up in the top here, it gives different categories. Like if you want to create more columns, or if you want to understand stuff out of the data, or if you want to edit stuff. So that's kind of where you can get more prompts. But down in the right-hand corner there is you can see all prompts in the Copilot lab. Um, this is very interesting. Paul kind of showed me this a couple of weeks ago. I was unaware of it. So I'm just going to click into that. So it brings us to Copilot Lab. So you can see here, um, up in the top here, you can pick the different apps. So like we have OneNote, Outlook, PowerPoint, Word. You can pick it over on the right. We'll just pick on PowerPoint for a second just to see. You can see below then all the different categories. So we'll just pick on create just to see what it'll actually give us. So you can see create a presentation about whatever you want to put in the box there, Hawaii. Add an agenda, celebrate styles, so create a slideshow for a 40th birthday party. So that's kind of giving you examples. So create a presentation based on a file. Um, so the other one is here, get a head start, create a presentation about team ice breaking activities. So it gives you good kind of flavor of what sort of kind of prompts you can actually ask from Copilot. So we'll just go back where we were in Excel there and just looking at the time there now. So we have 10 minutes left. So the next one on the thing, I'll just go back to where we were. So we had Word, Excel, and PowerPoint. PowerPoint, I'd probably be a bit better with the PowerPoint. So I'm just going to hit on PowerPoint and over on the right hand side here again you can see the Copilot. So it's still waiting, it's loading. Okay, so the Copilot is always on the right hand side when it starts up. So it's given me create a presentation, add slides about something. Any topic that we could create a presentation on? I suppose, Solomon, you're one there, Azure networking.
Yes, you can use that.
Okay, so we're going to create a presentation, right?
Yeah.
About Azure networking. Okay, so I only just put in 3 words.
Can we say that it maybe like create a presentation about Azure networking, the new SKU stuff maybe.
Yeah, so what I'll do is I'll do this one first, right? And then
Okay.
we can add another slide about the SDK then, yeah?
Okay. Good.
Okay, so I'm just going to click on you can hit on the send one, or you can actually hit the enter button on your PC. So I'm just going to enter this one. Um, and it normally takes, 30 to 60 seconds just to get it going. Um, and normally I kind of see that it would probably give you 5 to 6 slides. So here it's after giving us 5 slides. Um, and you can see it's kind of moving this, giving us kind of a nice starting one over here on the left, and click on that. So virtual networks, what is virtual network? Creating and configuring networks. Yeah, that's all part of Azure networking. Load balancing, what's load balancing? So if I just move this up a bit on the bottom, can you see the speaker's notes that it gave?
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, so like down the end there, load balancing is the process of distribution incoming network traffic across multiple servers. Load balancing increases the availability and scalability of applications and makes applications more fault tolerant. Azure offers multiple load balancing options, including application gateway, load balancers, and traffic manager. So that's all part of the load balancing. So like Copilot, I didn't give it any of these texts. Copilot put all this together. So you can imagine if you had to just do this slideshow yourself, it would definitely take you an hour, whereas Copilot just done it there in a couple of seconds. And the other one there, traffic management, routing traffic based on endpoints. So definitely it's a game changer, Copilot, for creating PowerPoint presentations. So you can see down the bottom here, look, Azure provides secure foundation across physical infrastructure. So as we look, Stephen, as you were saying there, now we're going to add look, we're going to ask it to add another slide about, right? So click on that one, and it's the new SDK. Is that the
So I think it's probably saying the about the standard SKU.
Yeah. Yeah.
standard? Is it?
Yes, standard, then SKU.
Stand-
So that should be an N before NDARD. Yeah.
Standard
S-
SDK. Is
SK,
it?
SKU.
KU.
Yeah. Public. I think we probably need to put public IP. We need to put slide about Azure public IP standard SKU. I think that should be.
Yeah.
Public before standard. Yeah.
I think public IP after is not bad, but we might just need to put the IP there for Azure. For
Public
Azure.
IP for Azure. Okay. Do you think that we're good with that?
Mm, yeah.
Okay. So
Yeah. I think that's fine. Yeah.
we'll hit that, and we'll see what Copilot comes up with. Um,
So for the prompts, I think most times from
yeah.
we
So
said
it
Yeah.
says,
Set
I'm sorry, I'm not able to generate
going
those
generate.
slides for you. Is there something I can do to help build your presentation? So it doesn't understand probably what we're putting in the prompt.
Mhm.
So when we see if we just say make it simpler, okay, just Azure public IP.
yeah.
We'll see what that will come up with. Okay, so it added the slide. Azure Public IP allows internet communication to Azure resources. Okay, so we'll just see, can we just get it to um, create another slide for us? Um, SDU, is it? Azure SDU, was that the one?
No, SKU.
Oh, was it SKU?
Yeah.
Okay. So Solomon, they're going changing this so in next year.
Yes, they would be retiring the basic, but the standard would still be you have to update to the standard. So, but the
Okay.
basic, yeah.
Okay, so that's kind of
Yes. Yeah, I think one of the things I love about the co-pilot is for the fact that it still make you to understand that I can be incorrect. So that's tell you that I'm not 100%. So don't rely on the information I give to you. So you need to know, go and make your own research. So I think that's fantastic for me.
And also for me, I think Copilot is still in like the baby phase.
yeah.
Copilot is just coming, and there's a lot to still explore with Copilot. So I strongly believe that as the years is going by, we would see a lot of more features
Yeah,
coming
I
up,
think they
and
will see
a
improving.
lot
Yeah,
of their engineers working on it. And for it to be this good at the early phase, I think it should be very super. It should be powerful as
Hmm?
we go on. So I've been using it also for like other stuff. I've been also playing around it, checking stuff, generating stuff with it. And to be frank, it has actually been amazing with all of those stuffs I do. So, and for today, what I just want to say, I have my training starting up now in 10 minutes. So, thank you
Okay.
guys for your time. I would be jumping to the next training. And thank you for having me, Frank.
Thanks,
yeah.
Solomon. And
I was
yeah,
enjoying it.
we'll definitely do more stuff going forward. And
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah, so
So
for now,
we'll,
I should be more frequent because also the time zone, the time zone was the same time with my training, but now I have the 1 hour difference before I start my training. So my training starts by 8 now, and
yeah,
the show starts by 7. So I can easily just jump from this to the other one.
very good. Solomon, nice to talk to you again. And
Yeah,
Stephen, thanks for joining us. And we'll be back here again next week at the same time. Thanks, everybody, from the Azure and AI show.
yeah. Bye.
Yeah,